Hey you guys, I'm back with another video and it looks like a little bit kind of weird. I don't know why, but like I need to find a place where like I could just talk and like just sit and like you could just see my whole body as like, I'm doing a whole podcast. But honestly, I just really look super weird in my clothes, so I don't really be showing like my full body. All I be showing is literally just like my top. Like that's literally it, like literally just my top. And that literally reminds me of like, what was her name, Laura from Love is Blind season 6, because she literally like came to the reunion. She came to last season's reunion on Zoom, and she just wore like a top. It's so funny. And it was like she was on Zoom at the reunion, and then people were commenting like, "Oh, were you wearing pajama pants on the bottom?" And it just reminded me of that. But anyways, I'm literally going to be talking about Marissa and Ramses, along with Nick D again and Hannah. I honestly just have a lot of thoughts, especially about Ramses and Marissa. I'm gonna just start with Ramses and Marissa first. And we're just gonna get straight to the video. I honestly think that there are a lot of judgmental people on this season, especially Ramses, because you mean to tell me that your future wife is opening up to you about being in the military, and like she's opening up about her religious beliefs, and like, yeah, like I get her comment with like God can take the backseat. Like I get how that comment, I didn't really like that comment. I didn't even catch that, but people were talking about it like on like these YouTube Love is Blind reviews. And I honestly want to put my 2 cents in and say like, I don't really like the comment, because I'm just like, I'm a very Christian person who is trying to get closer to God and like trying to really like get to know the word better and stuff like that, and just spend lots of my time with God, like the Holy Spirit, like Jesus and stuff like that, reading my Bible every day, doing family sessions, doing teen Bible studies, watching worship studies, going to church. So when she said that God could take the back seat, I mean, that kind of did trigger me a little bit. I was like, huh? But I feel like that when you're marrying, I think you should allow somebody to be entitled to their own beliefs. And when Marissa was being super open about like being in the military and stuff like that, like it was just like Ramses wasn't trying to really give her any sympathy, I guess. I mean, like it just seemed like that he was just very nonchalant. Like every single time she brought up the military, he was just like, yeah, this, okay, yeah, I understand, I get it. And I honestly just did not like that. And then people like were showing these clips of like Ramses and Marissa's conversations. People were talking about this on TikTok, and like people who were like commenting were just like, so then why did Ramses propose to Marissa if like he wasn't really all about the military? And that's my exact thought, because I forgot to mention Marissa's, I keep on preferring to Marissa as Ramses, but Marissa's parents, like Marissa's mom, Marissa's family grew up very poor, to the point where someone, I believe Queen E, shout out to Queen E, she's a really good Love is Blind reviewer, but Queen E was like mentioning how like Marissa's family was so poor, which I'm not trying to bash this at all, but Marissa's family was so poor to the point where they had to wear socks as gloves in the wintertime. And I'm just like, as someone who comes from a lower class family, she is 10,000, she has literally the right to go to talk about military school. I mean, to talk about being in the military. I think she had to like, also when you go to the military, you get lots of benefits. You get free schooling, and I think she's probably like, that's probably helping her with law school. And I'm just like, why is Ramses, to me it just pisses me off that Ramses is being so nonchalant about Marissa going to the military, when literally like she is using that to her advantage, and it literally helped her a lot with getting up on her own feet and being on her own. To me, I just think that was just so betrayal of Ramses to literally just sit there, hear Marissa talk about being in the military, and him not even giving a damn. Like him basically literally his literal verbal communication without him even speaking was like, if you talk about the military one more time, I'm gonna break up with you. And I'm just like, I do not like Ramses' energy with that, because I'm just like, okay, yes, like you see, like Marissa grew up in the military and stuff like that. You see, like she grew up in the military and stuff like that, and like she had to use the military as her advantage to like get free school, to help her financially so that she could be on her own and get up on her feet financially. I think it's just very disrespectful of literally why like you wouldn't kind of appreciate her of that. And I know like the military kind of kills people and stuff like that, but I feel like that he needs to kind of give her a little bit of grace on that. I don't know. And that's why now I'm doubting Marissa and Ramses kind of like working out, because I'm just like, there's no way that Ramses is just so against Marissa being in the military when like, you know goddamn well that like, sorry about my language, but you know goddamn well that like the military has so many benefits. Literally, like a lot of people go to the military and they get free schooling, okay? They literally get free schooling. They get so many benefits. I believe people who did the ROTC, I think it was like the ROTC program in high school, also they also get benefits to go to get full ride scholarships. So is it that like maybe Ramses didn't really grow up into a place where he had to go to the military for his advantage and financially? Because if it was me, as someone who literally comes from like an upper middle class family, and I was in Ramses' position, and Marissa's like talking about the military, I would understand her 100%. But I'm just like, Marissa is getting such an opportunity from being in the military. Can you respect that for her? Like, that's probably why she could have the chance to marry you on this show, because she literally like was able to get up on her own feet. And also I'm so proud of her siblings for even being able to get up on their own feet and, you know, be able to like, you know, make money, live on their own. And also, I want to just get into like Marissa's mom though. The way how though like she kind of was like talking to Ramses. I said this in like one of my last videos, but the way how she was talking to Ramses, I was just like, there's no way she's talking to him like that. Like being like, you better not use her for her money. I'm just like, how is he going to use her for her money when she's not even making money? That's what Ramses, and that's what her mom even said, something like, why are you mentioning it if you have to mention that like, oh, like your daughter's not even making money, for no offense, for law school, but then you're over here telling Ramses like, you better not use me you better not use her for her money. And then for her to go and say like, oh, like marriage doesn't last forever. I just also don't like that as well, because I'm just like, in fact, I think marriage does like, as someone who has two parents who are married, I feel like that in fact marriage can last forever if you make it work. Literally, my mom's grandparents are still married. Like, I feel like that you can make marriage work. You can make marriage work if you put the effort. Like, if you put the effort to work through things, go to marriage therapy, go to marriage counseling and stuff like that. I don't know. I really was, but Ramses, like him being nonchalant with like Marissa going into the military, I was just like, it's just not gonna work out. It just seems like that Ramses is just very stern on his beliefs, and like Marissa, like, I feel so bad for her. And I'm just like, Marissa literally had to use the military for her advantage. So I'm just like, for me, if I was in Ramses' position, I would literally respect that wholeheartedly. I would respect Marissa. I would literally support her wholeheartedly. Like, I would support her wholeheartedly about her going to the military. Like, I would be proud. Like, damn, like you're actually, and I literally admire independent people. Like, isn't that attractive? Isn't that attractive when you're independent? You're on your own 2 feet. Now, yes, do not rush independence, but I'm just like, I feel like that anybody who an independent woman should be attractive in guys' eyes, and I feel like that an independent woman then may not be attractive to Ramses, or an independent woman may not be attractive to men in general. But I don't know, like, and also like just Marissa's mom she was budging in hard. Like, it was really hard for her to kind of just like calm down. And then Marissa's sister had to chime in and be like, oh, like she's not giving Ramses, like she's not giving you your hand as a blessing if you don't get a prenup. So basically, like, they don't want but it's like, isn't it, I feel like that Marissa, like, yes, like Marissa, like she's still in law school. She's not really making that much money yet. But like my whole take on this is just like, it's just like they don't need to think about having a prenup now, because I'm just like, okay, if they get married after the show and they kind of work through things and like they're both now at a place where they're financially stable, I don't think you really need to, well, not gonna lie, because if you divorce, then it's like you could take money from each other, and like you could like become rich basically from a person that you were married with. So I get the prenup situation, but it just seems like that Marissa's mother was just very, very harsh. Like Marissa's mother was just way too harsh, and I honestly just did not like that. Like I was just not buying it. I was just like, why is she so harsh like that? On to Hannah and Nick D. Now I honestly kind of feel bad for Nick D, because I'm just like, at the age of 28, like for you to go on a show like Love is Blind, for Nick D to go on a show like Love is Blind and him not be on his own feet yet, I'm wondering, like, did his parents like kind of like mother him and like shelter him too much? I just don't really like how this is going with like Hannah and Nick D. Like the fact that like Nick D is like 28 and like he doesn't really have his own place. And not gonna lie, like having your own place, to me, I support having your own I support living with your parents until the age of like 35, like to me. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like that you shouldn't really go on a dating show where like you're forced to get married if you are 28 and you're still living with your parents and you don't have your own health insurance, you don't have your own car, and like you don't really have everything that you're paying in your name, and like not really a lot going on for you. And then I feel like that it's also embarrassing for you to like picture yourself as this like whole big football player. And I think he mentioned that he lives with his parents in the pods, which is good, but like I feel like that for me it's just kind of just like not really right to kind of just like kind of just bring this false narrative to Hannah and be like, oh, like I'm this big athlete, this big athletic football player and stuff like that, when at the end of the day it's just like you don't really have a lot going on for you and football already kind of happened for you. And I'm just like, I feel like that you need to be on your own to go on a show like this. But I'm just like, okay, if they go on a show like this and they get married, they may end in divorce in like literally 2 seconds, because like maybe Nick D may not be in a position where he can make his own decisions. And honestly, like a lot of people who live with their parents, sometimes like parents can be controlling. So like I don't know Nick D's parents, but like I just feel like that for Nick D to like live with his parents and then like for him right away to go live with Hannah, his parents are gonna see like it seems like he's gonna still be in that. It's gonna be hard for Nick D to be independent, get up on his own feet and make decisions himself. Like I don't know, and I know this kind of sounds a little bit harsh, but I'm just like, in my case scenario, like I feel like that me as someone who also lives with their parents, I would not be applying to go on Love is Blind at the age of 21 when I don't have a lot going on for me right now, when I don't got my own health insurance, when I don't got my own car, when I don't got my own anything. Like I would not be applying for a marriage show. Like just know, if anything, like I would, okay, yes, I believe in dating while living with your parents, but don't do an experiment where you're forced to get married right away. Cause I'm just like, so then right away you move in with, so then you're married, then right away you move in with your partner, and then what? Now you don't really know how to make your own decisions. Now you have to learn how to pay your own bills. Now you have to learn how to pay your own health insurance. Now you have to learn how to go to your own doctor's appointments. So it's just like, I believe in dating and you living with your parents. Like I believe in that. I believe in that, because it's just like, okay, with dating, you're not going to get married in 4 weeks. With dating, it's like you're going to get married in like a year or two. And then that's when you can, like, you have more time to kind of like think like, oh, like you still live with your parents. Okay, that's fine. Like, let's kind of compromise. Like, like you have a year to go teach your partner. Okay, hey, let me teach you how to cook. Let me teach you how to pay bills. Like, hey, like, this is how you pay your phone bill. This is how you pay your own health insurance. This is how you do this alone. Like stuff, like little stuff like that. I feel like it's little stuff like that where like people should know how to do on their own. And I feel like that Nick D, like, he just needs to be in a place where, like, he could just make his own decisions first and, like, do everything himself and then be married to him. Because I'm just like, I still see Hannah and Nick D getting married, but I'm just like, okay, what are they gonna do when, okay, like, they're married and then Nick D moves into Hannah's place, and it's like Nick D don't even know how to do half the stuff that Hannah knows how to do. And, like, yes, Hannah did, like, Hannah is in, like, student loans and stuff like that. But I'm just like, Hannah was on her. And, like, people were saying, like, oh, like, Hannah is just jealous that, like, Nick D got everything paid for. I feel like that Hannah is actually kind of panicking, because it's just like, how is she going to teach? She basically has a son. She has to kind of teach Nick everything, how to make decisions for himself. Like, he has to teach Nick everything. And I'm just like, this is what I said, like, when you're in the house a lot from time to time with your parents, and then you go on a marriage show where you're forced to get married, and like, imagine somebody living with their parents, then they go on Married at First Sight. It's just like, you got to teach them how to, like, do their, like, what if their parents could still be doing their laundry? Or, like, for example, like me, I don't know how to drive still. I'm in the process of getting my license. Okay, like, it would be okay. And I think there was somebody who didn't know how to drive on Married at First Sight as well, I believe. But it was like they kind of were, like, on their own feet in some way. Like, they were on their own feet in some way. So it was just like, it wasn't really a big deal. So I'm not going to use driving. Like, for me, like, again, like I don't have my own health insurance. Like, I don't pay any bills. So it's like, for me to go on, like, Married at First Sight, for example, and then it's just like, okay, now I'm on Married at First Sight. I've never once paid my own bill. Then what? Because then it's like, okay, if I don't know how to pay my own bills, how will my husband trust that I will be able to navigate the world independently? Then how will my husband be able to trust that I could pay the bills on time? What if he has to take up all the bills now because I don't know how to pay my own bill? Like, to me, that's just very, like, to me, that's just weird to me. Like, I don't know, like, I feel bad for Hannah, because I'm just like, now she kind of just has to, like, kind of teach Nick everything. And, like, it's just like, what if, so it's like Nick's parents are still paying for a lot of his stuff. Nick may not have the, let's say Nick moves in with Hannah. Nick's parents better be paying for some of his stuff while he lives with Hannah. And I know Hannah was like, oh, but, like, eventually, like, when you move in with me, like, your phone bill becomes your phone bill. Like, it's not like your parents are not be paying your phone bill. Hannah is trying to know, what is the tea after, like Hannah is trying to see, like, if her and Nick get married, will Nick parents stop paying his phone bill, his car insurance? And it's like, okay, if their parents do stop that, let's just say, then what? So then now Nick D has to kind of just, like, find extra income. And, like, also Nick D's a realtor. Some realtors, like, it's kind of hard to make a lot of money when you're starting out as a realtor. So it's just like, are they going to be, is Nick going to become a financial burden to Hannah? Because I'm just like, okay, yes, let's say that, like, Nick's parents are, like, still paying for everything for him. And then, like, eventually, like, you know, like, what if something happens to Nick's parents? Then what? Like, is it going to be a whole financial burden, or, like, it's just going to be a lot? And I feel like that Hannah is taking on a lot. Like, and it's just like, I feel like that Nick, he's still in his baby mindset. I'm sorry, but Nick is still in his Nick is basically a child. Nick is a child, because I'm just like, okay, Nick don't really know. And me too, like, I'm a lazy person. I don't really clean a lot too, but I'm just like, I would never put myself on a marriage show where I'm forced to get married in 4 weeks. And I haven't gotten to a point where I have cleaned consistently. Like, I feel like that Nick D should have waited, like, maybe, like, 2 to 4 more years to go on Love is Blind. And I know, like, Love is Blind was casting in DC, and he had to take that opportunity. But I'm just like, I think that Nick should have partnered up with someone like Leo, basically, at this point, as a friend. Like, I literally just don't get it. I feel like that for Nick to like not really be on his own feet, and he's on a marriage show and stuff like that. It's just like, what's gonna happen? Like, I feel like that is such a financial burden to Hannah. It's a huge financial burden to Hannah. I'm just like, you get married, you move in with each other, and then what? Like, who pays this? Who pays that? And like they literally had that conversation. Also, the fact that like Hannah cleans a lot and Nick D doesn't even clean at all, like. What if they move in? Like, it's gonna be Hannah cleaning everything. I would be damned if I'm on a marriage show, then I get married to my partner, to my husband, and I'm cleaning everything. Like, I'm cleaning the whole house. Like, I want a man who cleans. Like, I would be damned if, like, my husband doesn't know how to cook, make pasta, clean, like, pay his own car insurance, pay his own health insurance, pay his own phone bill. And it's just like, now I have to take over everything. Now I have to teach you everything. Now I have a son, basically. I have a son. I have to teach you everything. Like, I just could not do that. I literally could not. I'm just like, I want a person who's career driven, who's going to clean with me, who's going to work with me, like, who's going to make money with me. Like, I don't want anyone being a financial burden to me. And yes, like, I'm a person who believes in 50-50, because I'm just like, I believe in 50-50, but I'm also just like, at least can we be able to, like, can we make the same amount of money? At least can we both make, like, if I'm making $80,000 a year, can you match that energy with me financially, so that it's like I'm not paying for everything for you? I'm just like, because I could never marry a man who is making like 4 times less than me, or like 3 times less than me, or 2 times less than me. I can't marry a man where I'm making $80,000 a year and he's making $40,000 a year. Cause I'm just like, okay, now what? Now I gotta pay for a lot of stuff. And I'm like, I know like how it is. Like, I know, but I'm just like, I just want a man that's gonna work with me. And I'm just like, eventually, if either I'm paying for all his stuff or he's paying for all my stuff, it's like we have a more power. And it could turn into abuse, where we could be like, okay, I'm paying for everything, so you can't talk to me like this. Like, I just don't, the energy is just not matching up financially, like emotional. Like, I don't like this thing between Hannah and Nick D, where Nick D still is with his parents, has nothing going on for him, and he's on a marriage show. Like, I just feel so scared for Nick D. Like, I literally feel so scared for Nick D. Like, I don't know, but comment down below your thoughts on this video. Comment down below, who do you think is going to make it to the altar before like the finale episodes? Comment down below, what do you think, and like, who's your favorite on the show? Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with families and friends, and I'll see you in my next video.
Ramsey from Love is Blind Season 7 is not the person he is portraying to be. The way that he is reacting regarding her not wanting to go on birth control and her being like, you're gonna have to wear condoms, that's scary. Like, that is genuinely scary, the way he's just like, well, you know, it has to be enjoyable for me. Even though he just said to her, you know, I understand that birth control can like affect your health and your mood and your well-being. But the moment she was like, yeah, we'll just have to use condoms, he didn't care about her health, her well-being, her what? That is weird. The other thing about him that really irks me is he knew she was ex-military, and I totally agree with the way he thinks about the military, but you know going in that this girl is ex-military, like 8 years in the military, came from a military family, and you're like, you're a bad person because of that. Like, why would you choose her then? Because you clearly judge her for that past, so why would you choose her? That's unfair to her. That's weird. And now with the whole birth control thing, like, there has been red flag after red flag after red flag. And honestly, the first red flag I got from him was the way that he was like repeatedly insecure in the pods. I'm fine with men, you know, talking about their vulnerabilities, but there was something about the way he brought up being insecure that set off a red flag for me, because his entire demeanor was different. And I just was like, oh, this is going to end up bad. So I really don't think they're going to last. And I think both of them, especially Marissa, keeps like acting like it's rainbows and butterflies, when you can see it in her eyes when she's like defending the relationship to her friends and family. Like, you can tell she is on edge. You can tell that she's like, please don't ask anymore. Don't, you know what I mean? It's just not good. I don't think it's going to last. And for her sake, I hope it doesn't.
This man is not as liberal as he thinks he is. I see a lot of people online praising Ramses for his take on how Marissa's military background is something that should be kind of ashamed of. Even though he says someone shouldn't be ashamed of their past, he does continually imply it. And also, on multiple occasions, makes it obvious that he doesn't understand how the military works. In his conversations with her, he basically expresses that he doesn't just blame the institution of the military, but also individuals in the military and the troops. And that lack of empathy for people in the military, especially people like Marissa, just is not the liberal take that he thinks it is. It is extremely well documented how the military targets poor people and black and brown people, especially from poor neighborhoods, in recruitment and to join the military. Now, Marissa grew up extremely poor. Her sister even says that they were so poor that when they were growing up, she didn't even have enough money for proper, weather gear. They couldn't even afford gloves to keep their hands warm in the winter. Her sister said she had to use socks on her hands to just keep her hands warm. So Marissa not only comes from a broken home, but also an extremely impoverished background. And Marissa was raised Mormon, so she was already raised in a cult. So that is someone who is extremely vulnerable to manipulation and recruitment. What Ramses fails to understand is that for people like Marissa, joining the military might be the only means of escaping poverty, of avoiding the prison industrial complex. I really don't think he should be getting as much praise for his military takes as he is online, because his take is very ignorant towards the realities of the lives of the people who do end up joining the military. People don't just go to war. He actually says, when she's describing the atrocities that people face when they go to war, his response is, but they sign up for it though. No, they literally don't. They are manipulated by recruitment to join under the guise of financial reasons or self-preservation reasons. And he greatly underestimates how many people join the military without knowing the realities of what they're going to have to do and what they're going to have to face while they are signed up. And then once they're signed up, they can't leave. They just go to jail.